Evening, welcome to the Rams Review. Owen Bradley with former Derby captain Sean Barker alongside. What a week it's been for Derby County. 3 wins out of 3, 9 points collected. The Rams winning again this afternoon down at Plymouth Argyle. Marcus Harness opened the scoring. Harrison Armstrong made it 2-0 to the Rams, and though Plymouth fought back to make it 2-2, getting the equaliser seconds into the second half, Harness popped up again to win it for Derby with 2 minutes remaining. A huge victory for the Rams in the context of this Championship relegation fight. What a week he has had. Scored against Coventry on Tuesday as well. You'll hear from Derby's match winner and head coach John Eustace shortly, of course, and we'll tell you what it all means for the table. Derby not out of the relegation zone, Sean Barker, but it almost feels as like they are, given how today has gone, given how the week has gone. Where do you want to start with today?
A team won today that's full of confidence. I think 2 months ago you end up losing that game. You can see that second just after half time. I think you go on and lose it. And the difference with the week we've had, the 2 performances to get results, when you come into a game like this, it really felt that even though it went back to 2-2, we started brightly, we got the 2 goals, they got it back to 2-2. You always felt that there might be something left in us, and Marcus stepped up to score his second in the game, and I thought it was outstanding. We mentioned him before. You mentioned he might have listened in some way, or someone might have passed on the information, but he was brilliant, and he had that little bit of class that no one else on the pitch had.
We'll hear from him in a moment, and we'll look at the table in detail a little bit later, but I just want to sort of bring people the picture now. Derby still in the relegation zone, 38 points. Cardiff on 39, Stoke on 39, Hull 41, Oxford 42, Portsmouth 42. At the start of the week, Derby were 10 points behind Portsmouth, and now they're 4 behind, and they still have to play them as well. Derby might not be out of the bottom 3, but they've dragged so many teams back into the mix.
They have, and sometimes that's as important as getting out of the relegation zone. I know the instant impact is, can we get out of the bottom 3? Can we be out of the relegation zone? But the reality is, the more you drag down there, the more that are involved, the easier it is to get out. I said just over a week ago, this week was the important week because of the defeats, because of the disappointment. We find ourselves in a very, very precarious position. I was hoping to get 6 points out of the 3 games. We've managed to get a remarkable 9, which is very, very difficult to do in this division, especially in the form we was in. It was our second away result of the season in terms of getting a win, which then boosts the morale and the confidence going away from home. Everything in this week has gone perfectly. Even today's game, you know, you can see just before half time, you can see straight after half time. The positive is that you show a resilience in the second half. You show a way of staying in the game and managing the disappointment and still coming out with a victory. So in terms of a performance today, in terms of a week, it couldn't have gone better, and I'm sure John would be delighted what he's seen in terms of characters within the group. It's about character at this stage of the season, and they've certainly shown that at this point.
Well, let's find out what John Eustace thinks. Here's the Derby head coach.
Just very, very proud of the effort of the group. Very proud of the 1,700 fans that travelled all the way down. You know, throughout the game, the noise was incredible and really backed the boys. I thought we started the game really well. First half an hour was excellent, and then we gave them a needless free kick, which they produced a great goal, which gave them a lifeline really. You know, the way we started the second half obviously wasn't good enough, and then the momentum's for them, and then obviously the way things planned out was excellent. But we stayed in the game. We were under a lot of pressure against a really good team, and the way we stayed in the game was good. They changed their shape to a more attacking 4-3-3, and you know, then we changed a little bit with Marcus's position as well, and I knew then we'd get an opportunity on the counter, which we did.
In terms of hanging in there, is that a real sort of sign of the character that you want to see from this group, that they get back to 2-2, it could easily sort of crumble away from home, but they hung in there and then you go and get that winner?
Yeah, but that's what the Derby County is all about. You know, we're fighters, not victims. You know, the support again was magnificent. During the difficult moments, that's when this club really comes together, and the players have got to do that as well. And you know, since I've been here, you know, it's been tough at times, and the players have just stuck together and believe in the process. And you know, it's all about the family of Derby County now. You know, we've got to grow together, the players, the staff, the fans. You know, and whatever happens to the end of the season, we just stick together.
You've got Sondre Langas coming off the bench. He's had a knee injury. You've got Curtis Nelson, who's come down to support the team as well. He's sidelined with a knee injury. Is that sort of symptomatic of what you want from this group? They are together.
Yeah, and that's the only way you get any success at any football club. Sonny could have quite easily gone in and had surgery on his knee, earlier in the week, but he hasn't. He's going to go for the barrier for the boys and for the club, which is a magnificent gesture from him, and he was needed today. You could see that going on at right wing back. He didn't really know what was going on there, but he was excited about going on, and I thought the way he performed was excellent.
Again, is that what you want? That it's about the team, it's not about individuals at this moment?
It's about the squad. Anything to do with football is about the group of players that you're working with. It's not about any individual. It's not about 11 players on the pitch. It's about the 22 players that are available. And today, we've proved that whoever will be playing will sweat blood for the club and give their all.
You've got 3 wins this week. Aside from getting 9 points out of 9, what's pleased you from the 3 games that you can take into the run-in now?
I think just we showed a couple of different sides really. We started, last weekend against Blackburn, we were electric from the start, and the way then we had to adjust, the players had to adjust and stay in the game and see the game out was really pleasing against a really top team. Then obviously in the week against Coventry again, another top team coming to Pride Park, and the way we dominated them really without the ball, with our possession, was really pleasing. And I thought the group showed great character that night, and obviously to come here, third game in the week, it's such a difficult place to come to. Started the game really well, dominated with and without the ball, and to then go 2-2 just after half time. The character that this group showed just to stay in and hang in for the difficult moments was really pleasing, and the fans certainly helped doing that as well. The fans were magnificent again today, and it was great to score on the counter attack.
I appreciate it's all about the team, but just a couple of players. Marcus Harness, 2 goals today, got a goal in midweek, great for him. And Harrison Armstrong, first career goal, and what a finish that was. Touch
of class, yeah. H, for an 18-year-old, just turned 18-year-old, the way he's maturing into a really good player is very pleasing. There's still a lot of hard work ahead. I was a little bit worried about this game for him and Tomo, a little bit, third game in a week. The effort they've put in the last 2 games was phenomenal, and the way they kept going today was really pleasing. So I'm delighted for H. Still a lot of work to go with the boy, but he's doing well.
So you've got 2.5 weeks till you play again now. You mentioned in pre-match media on Thursday that there's that fine balance between rest and time on the training ground. So how do you see the next 2 weeks going?
As you say, yeah, we've got to rest a few of the boys. A few of them are going through injuries, but it's also important that we keep building on what we're doing. The hard work will start again on Tuesday. I'm going to give them Sunday, Monday off, but the hard work will start again Tuesday, and we'll have another good week, just trying to nail a few things that we need to improve on.
I know that you've had a great week, but I suppose the message to the players and the fans as well is, you mentioned there's plenty of hard work still ahead, nothing's sort of certain yet.
Absolutely not. We're still in the bottom 3. There's a lot of hard work ahead, and all we worry about ourselves, and we want to get out of that bottom 3 as quickly as we can. There's 8 big games coming up, and there's going to be some highs, there's going to be some lows, there's going to be some really difficult moments. But whatever happens, we just stick together. This Derby County family are growing, and we want to build on what we've done up to now.
You mentioned there's going to be highs and lows. Is it important then, when the highs come, don't get carried away? When you have the difficult moments, you don't get too downbeat as well. You just try and keep it on a level playing field.
Yeah, as soon as you get carried away in the Championship, it's there to bite you on the bum. And we just keep working hard. We stick together no matter what, and we see where it takes us.
And just lastly, you mentioned the fans a few times there. 1,700 make a long old trip down here. You must be so pleased for them, the week they've had.
Of course, listen. The fans have been magnificent. That's one of the reasons I decided to join Derby County. I really understand. The fan base. I've played under them. I know how powerful they can be. It's a huge football club, and every one of us, including the fans, the players, the staff, now we've got to just keep working as hard as we can to make sure we stay in this league.
John Eustace there, guiding Derby to just their 2nd away win of the season this afternoon down at Home Park. Action-packed game, Barks. The first half in particular, very exciting. And when Derby jump out to a 2-0 lead, courtesy of Marcus Harness and Harrison Armstrong, felt as though it might be a straightforward afternoon, and it didn't prove to be in the end.
No, it felt like it might be, but we've been in these positions a few times over the course of the season where you look comfortable, you start the game really well, and then you end up being penned back in the second half and concede and end up not winning the game. So in that respect, it was disappointing to concede the first in the first half. As you mentioned there, we gave away too many cheap free kicks on the edge of the box, especially with the referee that we had who was ready to blow his whistle. you can't argue with the finish. It was a wonderful free kick, and at that point you felt the second half might be slightly different. What you do want to do is start the second half well and put them on the back foot like you started the first. That wasn't the case. It was an appalling start to the second half, poor goal to concede, and from that point the pleasing thing was staying in it. So there was a bit of pressure from Plymouth. They were asking a few questions, but ultimately we did enough to limit them to 2 or 3 half chances. That was it, and you still felt there was a goal in either side, and you just didn't know which way it was going to go. But thankfully, Marcus, who's been in wonderful form, turned well on the edge of the box. It was a delightful ball. People won't appreciate the weight and the timing of the pass for Elder to step forward, who again was very good. Played a ball back into Marcus and he finished really well. So a very pleasing afternoon, firstly obviously for the 3 points, but the way that we managed it after a difficult kind of last period of the first 45 and start of the second. So many things to learn from and many things to be pleased with.
We'll talk more about Marcus Harness in a moment when we get to the winner, but let's not overlook Harrison Armstrong and the quality of the finish for Derby's second goal, and I guess also the week he's had and the impact that he's had, still 18, coming into the side and playing a big part in these 3 wins this week. Yeah,
I think everyone expected him to be a ball player because of coming from a Premier League Cat 1 club. Obviously he's got pedigree, still a young boy, so you didn't know how much influence and how much impact he'd have in this side. But what we've seen is moments of class, moments of quality which he naturally possesses. But I also see a different side of him, that one, the willingness to compete, the duels he wants to fight for, the tackles, the moments of discipline out of possession, which has been one of the standouts of the team in the last 2 or 3 games. But the class with the finish was superb. Many players would have just put their foot through it, trying to get the laces through it, hard and low. He opened up his body, he finished it brilliantly into the far corner. And for his first goal, for such a young age, the impact he's made in the last 3 games has been pivotal for the reason we've got 9 points.
Plymouth have fought and scrapped and battled all season, and we saw that, didn't we? Good free kick from Bundy to get 2-1, and then Nat Phillips is unfortunate, I suppose, with the equaliser to make it 2-2, and it was anyone's game probably for long stretches of the second half. How much credit do you give Derby for the fact that, despite being pegged back to 2-2, momentum against them, they then did seem to shut things down just a little bit? Yeah,
they did. Probably that 25-30 minutes was the best part of the game. I know you look for goals and you look for assists and you look for creating opportunities, but games are won in different ways and they're won at different periods, and you did fear the worst when it went to 2-2, but somehow they just managed to regroup, to regain composure. The shape was good again, and they were very difficult to break down. Plymouth were on top, there's no doubt about it. They had more possession, they were in Derby's half a lot more, but when that happens, especially against a vulnerable side that's sitting towards the bottom end of the table, opportunities will arise. You just have to wait for the right moments and you have to take them. We had 2 or 3 good chances. Fortunately, Marcus took his, and that's how games are won in very different ways, especially when you're towards the bottom. You've got to work out, if you're on song and you're firing on all cylinders, can you make the most of it? If you're up against it, can you stay in it? And we did that for 20-25 minutes the second half. So another pleasing thing, and obviously winning games of football, it doesn't matter how it looks at times, it's just about picking up the 3 points.
And Marcus Harness opens and finishes the scoring. He starts the move as well that ultimately leads to Elder crossing and him finding the finish. You were so impressed with his movement for the goal in particular.
Yeah, well, the first goal was individual. It was a case of being able to turn first touch to get your shot off, and he outmuscled the centre half, which isn't an easy thing to do. The second one, the detail of the pass was wonderful. It allowed Elder to support him and put across him first time at pace. He didn't have to slow down for the ball. And as soon as the ball comes in at pace, he's got 2 options. He either makes a darting run towards the front post, or he looks at the players that are defending. And if you notice on the goal, all the Plymouth players were going behind the ball. So he just decelerates it for a moment. It allows Elder to find him. It's a great cross. And he just uses the pace of that cross to open his body up and find the far corner. I mentioned before the game, I felt a little bit sorry for Marcus this season because he's a player that wants to play and link and find little gaps. I've always felt that he's looking to do that. Sometimes it hasn't worked for him and it hasn't worked for the team. And he's mentioned it a couple of times that he's looking for impact, he's looking for goals and assists. He's in the better positions and he's got runners beyond it. He's got players to look for all of a sudden, and that's why we're starting to see the best of him.
So 2 goals for Marcus Harness helps Derby win at Home Park. Let's hear from the player of the match this afternoon.
Yeah, it's amazing. Great to cap off an amazing week. Three wins in a row in this league is really not easy work. Yeah! even the teams that'll be right up the top of the league, there's only 1 or 2 that'll probably do 3 wins in a row. So it's a great accomplishment, and we're just happy to have turned the tides, and we'll look to build on it next game.
What was the most pleasing thing about the performance today?
I just think how dangerous we were. We're really disappointed with the goals. Obviously the first one's a worldie, but still can be what's the word? Can be stopped. Yeah, can be avoided. So we're disappointed with the goals, but yeah, to score 3 goals away from home, you should be winning the game really comfortably. It wasn't comfortable, but yeah, we're happy with it.
You showed a lot of resilience as well after they came back from 2 goals down to go again and get that goal at the end.
Yeah, and it shows how far the confidence has come and the group's come, and the belief in what we're doing. Because earlier in the season, a goal had really knocked the wind out of our sails, but I feel like we were quietly confident, even at 2-2, that we'd get another chance, and we'd do our best to not give away anything silly again.
2 more goals for you as well. You're looking in a really good place at the minute with your form.
Yeah, finally. I feel like I'm getting into positions where I can finally show what I can do. The season hasn't gone as I'd hoped. I'm sure for a lot of us as well where we are, but yeah, it's exciting, and I'm glad we finally turned it around.
Going through this little period where we haven't got a game for a little while, how important is it now to have some real momentum with 3 wins on the spin?
Yeah, we'll get some good training in and some good rest, and then we'll come back even stronger for the games after the break, I'm sure. And we're all dying for it. We wish we could play again on Tuesday. So yeah, it'll be a good break, but we'll look to carry the momentum on when we come back.
Finally, just a word on the away support. Sold out again and serenaded you just then as well.
Yeah, they've been amazing. In the last couple of months, they haven't had a lot to cheer about, but they've travelled and been in fine voice every week. We really appreciate it, and it really makes a difference, especially like today at 2-2 when our back's against the wall. It makes a massive difference. So yeah, we really appreciate it. It's a long way to come. So yeah, love it.
Thank you, well done.
That's Marcus Harness. Let's show you the results from the Championship weekend. Bristol City got a big win last night, trying to keep that playoff push alive. Stoke conceded a last-minute winner away at Millwall in one of the lunchtime games. Maybe there are some nerves creeping in for Leeds. They had to fight back from 2 down to get a point against Queen's Park Rangers. In the 3 o'clocks, drama at Ewood Park, where Blackburn lost again 2-1 at home to Cardiff. That's a result that really affects things toward the bottom of the table, as we'll see in a moment or two. Coventry responding to defeat to Derby the week by beating Sunderland pretty emphatically. A point for Luton at home to Middlesbrough. Oxford with a big win over Watford. Preston got the better of Portsmouth, who probably aren't out of danger yet. Burnley won again away at Swansea, and West Brom held at home by Hull. The table then sees Leeds still top of the pile, and with a very healthy goal difference, which means that even if Sheffield United beat Sheffield Wednesday in the Steel City derby tomorrow, Leeds will still be top come Monday morning. Almost certainly a 3-horse race now, with Sunderland dropping off the pace. Bristol City dropping out of the top 6 despite that win last night. Maybe it will be them who misses out on the top 6. At the bottom of the table, Derby stay in the relegation zone, with Cardiff winning today as well, but they've dragged so many teams back in. Portsmouth on 42, only 4 points clear of the Rams. Is that it for Plymouth though, after their defeat today? Bottom of the table, and now 6 from safety. And what a week it's been for Derby County, and now we have over a fortnight until the Rams are next in action, but you can stay right up to date with things on the website dcfc.co.uk, and we'll be back for that Preston game in a couple of weeks' time. For now, from me, Barks, and the rest of the RamsTV team, enjoy the rest of your evening. Goodbye.